Well, I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I know I've kind of come back around full circle. This is the TwoSun TS329 Vandal. This is one that is a button lock knife. It's big. It is not, I'm not sure if I qualify it, as a knife or a button lock machete, like Tri-State said on his channel. Check him out. He's done a couple of videos on this knife, and funny ones, actually, because it's a bizarre knife. It's big. It's a Mongo knife. I get it. It's heavy. It's M390. It's stone wash. It's got multi-row ceramic bearings. And no, I keep wanting to finger flick this one, but this won't. Most of this knife, maybe fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, like the Civivi Elementum button lock, you can't finger flick it. It's not finger flickable. It's a button lock. Okay, so this is a button lock. It's not really meant to be finger flicked, although some of them will come with the detent soft enough you can finger flick them out of the box, and other people have modified the spring or the tension somehow to make them finger flickable. So, just saying. But this is an M390. Okay, it doesn't say the blade steel on the blade. It says it on the inside of the knife. And it also gives my logo and the logo of Tkachuk, who's my co-designer. I mean, I started out by contacting the guy at TwoSun saying, I have an idea for a knife, or I'd like to design a knife. I'd like to attempt having a knife made, whatever, okay? Or to design one and just see it come to fruition, okay? And so he said, come up with a design, I'll look at it, you know? And so then I came up with a design in, like, of course, like a second grader with crayons, or maybe a kindergartner with crayons, and I had this general design, okay? But then I approached Max because he had done knives for TwoSun and stuff before, and so he was kind of a pro at it. Of course, he lives in Ukraine, so that became kind of difficult eventually, but he helped me, and he has continued to help me. I have a new knife that's coming, and I'll show you the prototype when I get it from We Knives, but it's not here yet, called the Result. This one is called the Vandal, okay? And I have 50 remaining. That's it, 50, okay? And they're not numbered, but I got 50. That's it, folks. If you look on eBay, you won't find them. You look on Amazon, you won't find them. You look on AliExpress, you won't find them, okay? So these are, and how this morphed into me being able to be the sole you know, salesperson for these was just kind of weird. But what happened is, in the first batch were 14C 28N blades, and they have since, of course, sold out. But when they started making the M390, there were like 12 or 14 14C blades still in inventory, and they got mixed in with the M390. I took the knives to a PMI, XRF analyzer place, and separated them out. So these, I mean, I wrote on the box like verified M390, okay? So, and I signed the box for you, and I give you a sticker. Looks kind of like that, or it might look kind of like this. Or if you want one of both, that'd be fine. $289 or $189, getting greedy. $189. See, it sounds so much cheaper now that I said $289 and you had a heart attack. Now you feel a lot better, right? It's like gas prices going to $7 and they back up to $4.50. You feel like you're getting a bargain. But it's a hell of a knife. And this is the 14C model, okay? And one of the ways it was really interesting when we did get into the debacle about the 14C blades getting mixed with one of the batches, it was interesting because you can look at the 14C and he goes, you know, look at the grind on the 14C. It's kind of real mild here. See that just kind of lays over. Where the grind on this one is sharp. You can see how it reflects off of that right there. And you can see that line very clearly. And you know what? When I went to the analyzer, it was true for everyone that I analyzed. I could see this line clearly. It was M390. I couldn't see that line that clearly. It was 14C. Really strange. So I can eyeball them and actually tell anyhow. But they're all gone. 14C is all gone. All we got is M390 left. So, and I don't want to belabor you with this, but I've got 50 of them for sale, and Mama needs a new stove. Our house was 1985 vintage. Unfortunately, it's still 1985 vintage. But I sell these 50 knives for $189. You do the math. She can buy more than a stove. So, and there's, oh God, we need a roof. That'd be $10,000 before hurricane season. Okay, 4-inch blade. I'm begging you now. Okay, 9 1/4 overall length, right? 23.5 centimeters. Actually, to begin with, and this is hilarious, but this was supposed to be, I mean, the way I drew it and everything I wanted was going to be like 26 centimeters. It was going to be monstrous. And the owner at TwoSun, he goes, wow, I'm not sure I want to do that. And at first he made 50. I think it was 50 knives. That's all he was going to make. But you know what? Then they ended up, actually, he scaled them down. And so this is the scaled down version, believe it or not. So 9 1/4 inches is the scaled down version. And you know what? I thought about it and I go, nah, I'm not pissed about that. And I think that's probably enough. 16 millimeters, it's 0.63. It's a handful. I get you. And 0.14, 0.15, 3 basically a 4 millimeter blade stock. Okay, so it is what it is, my friends. I can't remember. Okay, yeah. But this is nothing. It is a nothing burger compared to, look at that edge here. So I sent this off to Brian, who's anything knife related, okay, on Instagram. So anything knife related, look at him. He lit him up on Instagram because he does anodizing and stuff. And then, God, oh my God, the guy, I'm sorry, if I forgot, I'll try and put it down here, that did these custom scales. And I bought the material, had it sent to him. And he doesn't, you know, he was just starting up, trying to learn how to do inserts. And I go, if you'll do them for, and he did them for free. So, I mean, you know, what can I say? It was very nice of him. But this is that shred or fat carbon fiber stuff. Oh, what did I hit? But, wow. Okay, so this one, yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy sharp. So, I mean, you know, send it over to Brian, get him to put that mirror on there. And don't close it up on your fingers. Yes, I have one other that's in bronze that has a mirror edge. That's the one that cut my thumb and finger. 4 stitches, 6 stitches, okay? And I think what I was doing was doing something like this to test the lock integrity. And somehow, I think my finger or something hit that button, and it all happened so fast, I don't know. All I know is it folded up and it hit both these digits, and blood was everywhere. So, okay. So, you know, I test the lock to see that it's full and that the button executes. And then I look to make sure that all the hardware, and there's no hardware basically, here and here, and here and here, that's it. And there's your backspacer, etc. So, and I'll take this one apart here, I guess. But that's all there is to it, folks. They're centered, you know, no blade play, no lock rock, but nowadays I don't trust any lock. I mean, frame lock, liner lock, button lock, I don't care. I'm not gonna do weird things to try and spine whack or do things because I'm worried about getting my hands in the way. And no, so good enough is good enough for me. But this is a big old drop point blade. I insisted that we get a bit of a choil up here, but then Max says, let's get some milling along here on this. And so we did. And I said, that was an excellent idea, Max, thanks. And then I wanted the ceramic ball pocket clip thing, okay? So, and I wanted it attached from the inside. So that was another of my ideas, along with multi-row ceramic bearings. And, you know, the blade to handle length is great. And, of course, the design flow is good. So there you go. If you want one, there's 50 of them. You'll be one of very few people that have a Vandal. And I don't know where it's going to go from there. I don't know if they're going to come out with a budget version, a smaller version, or whatever. But this is all that there is for the moment. And I don't know that they'll do another rendition of this, unfortunately. So I'll sign the box, I'll give you a sticker, and let me take it apart for you so I can show you how easy it is. And I've already had like 2 of them that were returned. One guy bought, well, actually both guys that returned a knife for repairs did because the pivot screw was bound up or something like that. And I go, how can that be? Because I'll guarantee I've disassembled 20 of these things at least. And you know what? I've never had a problem. Never had a problem. So it was very strange. I don't know what happened, but I just, actually I got it. They couldn't unscrew the pivot. I unscrewed the pivot and put another pivot screw in it and sent it back to them. So it was really strange. I don't know. People sometimes don't get overzealous with the pivot screw. You know, if it starts backing out on you, just use some thread locker, you know, put a little bit of that on the threads, adjust it to the tightness you want, and then let it sit, and then let it, you know, cure. Okay, so we have a spring, okay, and then here's the button lock mechanism, and here's a multi-row bearing. So it's just those 2 things. That's it. It's that easy. And how easy is it? Okay. Now, what's interesting is this whole button thing will come out. Some people will put a little collar on here so that the button will have a little collar, and it'll come from the inside, and there will be like a little collar in here somewhere. And the button will only go in so far, and it will not be able to go all the way through. But this goes all the way through, so you can pull it out like that. And no harm, no foul there. Okay. Now, as everything falls out of this knife, LTK, TS329, and then Max, of course. And M390 is that. Okay. So that's as simple as it is. And here's your backspacer, and of course the other little piece here just fell through, right, from the front. But there it is. As quick and easy as that is. And let's look at the pivot. And of course it's a D-shaped pivot, which the 14C ones were not. Okay. So that was discussed after they came out. And, you know, these are holes back behind here, I guess, for being able to, if you can, push this insert out for anodizing. Okay, so it's easier to anodize if you don't have this kind of material in here when you're trying to electro anodize it. But this is what this is. Now, putting it back together is just as easy. Oh, by the way, Here's our pivot. Okay, let's put our D-shaped pivot. You can see the D shape and how that's got to line up just like that. Okay, it's coming through. Now, you lay it down almost all the way. Okay, put your bearings and just enough. Okay, now what I do is I get my button all the way up here because I want to slide this blade over the pivot, but I want to slide it. Okay, now here comes the pivot through there, but I want to get the blade in this middle ground here. Okay, so now that it is, I can fully do that. Put this back on. Voila. Here. Oh, by the way, I want to put this back in here. The stop, and that's it. Pretty easy. And then it just goes together, and oh, your spring goes right in that cup area, that little cupped out area like that. And just like yay. Now, boom. Then put this in. But it's a big dog, so if you don't like big knives, this is not a knife for you. Okay. And if you don't like button locks, this is not the knife for you. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the fact there's not a lot of hardware. I like the size. I like the general shape of the blade. It seems to be handy. And let me make sure that we got this the way we need to. But it's really easy to unscrew this. I mean, there's not, I mean, the ones I've taken apart, there's no real thread lock or any problems, any of that kind of shit. So this should be easy breezy to function with. You can check, hopefully in the comments section, people who own one, have bought one from me, will make a comment and say what they feel about their Vandal. But, you know, there's 50 of them. If you want one, let me know. Email me. I'll have my email address down below. I ship it in a small flat rate priority mail box, okay? So it's going to come in a box. It's going to come in this box that I'm going to sign. I'm going to put a sticker with it, and you're going to have you a knife, okay? And hopefully it serves you well. And also the owner at TwoSun did send me a packet with extra screws, bearings, and, you know, pivot screws, stuff like that. So, I mean, not tons of it, but probably enough to be able to service whatever, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 guys that have issues or may have an issue. I'm trying to look these over, make sure they're tight, the lockup is good, there's no missing screws or loose screws or anything like that, and that they're good to go. Give me a buzz. Luvthemknives, LUVTHEMKNIVES at gmail.com. This will get shipped out. I'll just send you an invoice. You can use your Discover, MasterCard, Visa, American Express. You can Cash App. You can Apple Pay. You can Zelle. You can send me a check or a money order. It doesn't matter. So I'll shoot it out to you. You'll have it in 2-3 days max if you're in the USA. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And you guys, you know we do around here. Yeah, we love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.